Liverpool are in a title race. Let us not kid ourselves here. They have been the best offensive team in the Premier League, and defensively they have the likes of Alisson and Van Dijk, who are all-timers. Rival clubs need to start taking them seriously again, and Manchester City have already started under Pep Guardiola. Just look at how their players are talking about recently. Rodri was saying that Liverpool are the main competition Manchester City have in the Premier League. In this video, I'm going to be looking at 5 reasons why I believe Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp can win the Premier League title this season. And the 5th reason you will definitely want to hear, because it's something Jurgen Klopp hasn't had since he's joined the club. But before we get into the fun stuff, don't forget to like, comment down below who you think's going to win the title, and subscribe for more. And number 1, Liverpool have the best attack and offensive lineup in the Premier League, with 2 players in particular who I believe will have big second halves of the season. Just some number crunching for you. I know we all love the analytics these days, but per 90 this season in the Premier League, Liverpool are first for XG with 2.21 per game, first for XGD, so the defense isn't doing too bad either, as this is looking into goal difference. They're also first for shots and X threat. This means Liverpool's attack is the most dangerous in the Premier League. As well as this, it could easily be said Liverpool have not seen the best of Darwin Núñez or Luis Diaz yet this season. Darwin Núñez is an absolute monster up front when it comes to the numbers. The frequency with which this guy creates chances for himself and for his teammates is historically unique. In the first half of the season, he has heavily underperformed his XG, and he should be scoring more goals than we have seen so far this season. And I believe when he goes towards that mean that he should be at in terms of goal scoring, we're going to be seeing Darwin Núñez score a good fair amount of goals for Liverpool in the second half of the season. Luis Diaz, on the other hand, has had a roller coaster of a season, with all the antics off the field with his father's kidnapping affecting a lot. And people don't understand, football's just not played on the pitch. You need to have the best surroundings around you for you to really perform on the pitch. Imagine being on the pitch and you know your father's kidnapped in Colombia. It's a very difficult mental thing to overcome and jump on the pitch and show your best on the pitch. And that's why I feel like now we will see the best of Luis Diaz. He's going to be confident. We saw it against Newcastle. That was probably his best performance of the season so far, and he was confident. He looked like himself again. He was beating Livramento with ease, playing with his opposition, moving with swagger like we saw when he first joined. Them stupid no-look passes that he does from the worst angles ever, but that's the type of thing you want to see from him. The South American flair. And if these 2 pure South American hoopers can find form, it's going to be a very difficult time for the league. And number 2, we can't just focus on Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez, since they're not the only Liverpool players, and definitely not the best Liverpool players on the team. There's a number of game changers, moments players, and all-timers in this team. The only team I feel like in the Premier League who can actually match Liverpool when it comes to all-timers is definitely Manchester City. Alisson, Van Dijk, Salah, and Trent Alexander-Arnold are all players who give Liverpool a huge marginal gain before the ball's even kicked off. For example, you might not think it, but when Mohamed Salah's on the pitch, the defense goes 5 or 6 steps back. When Trent Alexander-Arnold's on the pitch, they always have to be wary of the over-the-top passes. He's always perfect with it. There are times in a game where Liverpool are in deep trouble. They're getting pummeled, attacked, and you just see attack after attack, like a 10-15 minute in a game, and you just see Van Dijk everywhere, easily, calmly, with composure, clearing the ball out. And even if they do get past him, then you have the goalkeeper in Alisson. This guy can save in any moment. Any type of save you need him to do, he can do it. And when you talk about offensively, Liverpool are struggling to get a goal. They don't know where they can find that moment of magic. You have Mohamed Salah. He could be having the worst game in Premier League history and he'll still find a way to get a goal and assist. You have Trent Alexander-Arnold. These days, bruv, this guy can create a chance from any position on the pitch. Whether that's right back, whether these days that's centre mid. His positioning, people can't catch him because you don't know where he's going to be on the pitch. He could be a striker at times, and that's what I love about Jurgen Klopp teams. The freedom he has on this pitch. He can play in any position he wants to play and you will see him thrive. He turns into an absolute demon when he goes into the middle these days. And the one thing that I like about him, he can create from any position now. And this is one aspect of the game where I feel like Arsenal are lacking. They don't have the same number of game changers as Manchester City or Liverpool have, which is why I have Liverpool and Manchester City right now, just a little bit above them when it comes to the title race. And number 3, we have the mentality of this team. Jurgen Klopp has really built a mentality into his Liverpool 2.0. They fight for the badge, they fight for each other, and have a never gonna die mindset on the pitch. We now have the excellent leadership of Virgil van Dijk, and Trent Alexander-Arnold has really taken this leadership responsibility very heavily, which is so good to see. With these 2 leading the team, you can see the mentality of this team. They never give up. They can go behind in any game. Like if you think about it, Liverpool concede a lot of goals where they're the team that concede first, but yet Liverpool always end up winning the game. And that mentality is something that we've put against Sir Alex Ferguson teams in the past and his great Manchester United teams. Let's be honest, Liverpool have scored more goals after the 76th minute than any other team, and it's by far and away the way Liverpool at the last 15-20 minutes, when they need to win, when they need to score a goal, they always clutch up these days. For example, I'm going to give you the Fulham game. Liverpool were 3-2 down to Fulham. It looked like the game was done. Liverpool won't be able to come back. Jurgen Klopp puts on Wataru Endo, a DM. How's he going to change the game? What happens? He gets the ball, he whacks it into the top corner, it becomes free, and then you see Trent Alexander-Arnold, I spoke about his positional freedom, right outside the box, comes to him, he chests it and he hits it into the bottom corner, and it's so composed, and it's always so good to see how this Liverpool team just know they're going to come back and they're just going to win. And that's something a title winning team has to have, an elite mentality. And number 4, we've spoken about him before, and we're just going to keep speaking about him in this video because that's how important he is to this Liverpool team. The development and versatility of Trent Alexander-Arnold. I always said Liverpool can match Man City for goals all day long, but the biggest difference between the two teams is one man, Kevin De Bruyne. Liverpool have never had a creator who is just as good centrally as he is wide. Just like Kevin De Bruyne, if you think about it, when he's in centre mid or when he's coming off that right half space run and he's crossing the ball into the box, he's just as good in both positions. And we finally have it. Trent can't just only create in the wide areas anymore. The half space crosses, the byline runs, and then crossing it back into the middle. That's not the only thing Trent Alexander-Arnold can do anymore. He's roaming in the middle. He has license, freedom of the pitch. And when he does, he's always playing with such confidence and arrogance. It's lovely to see. He's a wonderful and world-class footballer who's only going to keep getting better. 2 goals, 3 assists, 5th for key passes, 3rd for passes into the final third, 2nd for through balls, 4th for shot creations in the Premier League. We are talking about all round one of the best footballers in the world, not just the right back, best footballers in the world. And also I just need to add, Real Madrid and these Real Madrid fans need to stop acting like he's going to join them to become a Galactico. I've been seeing Faisal of STS podcast always saying that Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to join them to become a Galactico. That's not going to happen. He's going to sign a new contract and he's going to end his career at Liverpool Football Club. And number 5, we have the reason that I was talking about that we have not seen before for a Jurgen Klopp team. He genuinely has the ability to rotate and use real squad depth. We've seen many key players out, many substitutions throughout the season, but not once has Jurgen Klopp let that affect him. We genuinely have strength in depth for once, which is why we are fighting in all cup competitions and the league at this point. The most important aspect of a Jurgen Klopp team is the midfield. We saw it last season. Look, we had Jordan Henderson, we had Fabinho. These are big personalities in the middle of the pitch, but because they lost their legs, they didn't have the adequate energy to play in a Jurgen Klopp midfield. We absolutely flopped last season. But for once, we don't have that anymore. We have energy. Szoboszlai, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, Alexis McAllister. Look at the options that Liverpool finally have, and especially in the midfield. So we can finally enjoy watching our midfield and play it out with ease. Have the different skill sets that this Liverpool team needs. For example, when Liverpool need to break a deep line, Szoboszlai is not working because he hasn't got that type of pass to go in behind. Curtis Jones isn't working because he doesn't have. So what do? We put on Harvey Elliott. The guy can break lines with ease. We put on Ryan Gravenberch. He can use his body, get around his markers, and actually find the through balls into our strikers. This is what I like to see, and this is the reason why I say tactically this has been one of Jurgen Klopp's best season in terms of understanding what's going on in the pitch and what needs to change, how he can change the game with the players that he has on the bench, whether that's putting on Conor Bradley from the bench, whether that's putting on Clark from the bench like we saw in the Arsenal FA Cup game. This is a world-class coach with very good squad depth and some very good world-class players. And this is why I believe Jurgen Klopp could do the unbelievable once again and lead Liverpool to another title against the Manchester City team that has a humongous amount of charges against them, a huge amount of world-class players, Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland, who are genuinely at the biggest game changers in the Premier League. And so if Jurgen Klopp does do it, it's a big feat, and people need to start rating the work that this guy is doing at Liverpool. I don't think they understand. He doesn't have the financial power that Manchester City have or Manchester United have. To an extent, Arsenal have. He needs to sell players to buy players. I know people say, look at the players he's bought. No, he's had to sell players. He's had to wait his turn. When Liverpool have needed a player in demand, they haven't been able to get him. They have to wait until the summer to sign him because of the financial restraints he's under. And hopefully if FFP does work the way it's been working recently, we finally get to see Liverpool actually compete with the biggest teams for players that they need to get. Arsenal are trying to keep up in the title race as well. They are definitely in there. They have players, Declan Rice, William Saliba. They might need a striker, and if they can get their attack working, then they can definitely be in a title race. It's an interesting race, and Liverpool are in it. And with the mentality that we have with all these all-timers and the coaching of Jurgen Klopp, we could be accelerating forwards towards the beginning of Liverpool 2.0, and that the start of that could be trophies, Carabao Cups, FA Cups, Europa League, but it could also be the Premier League title.